let's go, Brenda. Let's bring you up, birthday girl.
Let's go with the birthday girl. Let's get it going. What's going on? Oh, you're muted.
You should be good now.
Unmute.
There we go.
Y'all hear me?
We can hear you.
I have on my headphones because my kid is back there listening to the Epic, and I wanted to make sure they could do their thing while I did this.
Oh, you're good.
Here's my question, Jason. First of all, I'm grateful for being here. Thank y'all for celebrating my birthday with me. I'm 62 years old, and that is awesome for a kid that was told they were not going to make it to their 10th birthday. So,
wow, good for you. Do you tell that story?
Yeah, I do. I tell it sometimes about, I was at the Philadelphia Children's Hospital, had TB and some other things going on, and I was there for an entire year. They put me on an adult ward, and one day they thought I was sleeping. My mother and them were having a conversation, and they told my mother, we're very sorry. Based on the preliminaries, everything, she's probably not going to make it to her 10th birthday. But when I heard them say that, I heard a voice in my head say, you're going to have a long life. And then my grandmother walked in, and they were telling my grandmother, and she said, sweetie, don't listen to them. She put her hands on me and said, in the name of Jesus, this child will have a long life. And from that point on, I wasn't afraid.
So you got to tell that story more.
Yeah. So, and then I just went on to do, for example, because of that stay in the hospital, I should have never been able to be in the Marine Corps.
Wow.
Because of my heart and all the other stuff. But I did 20 years of active duty with honors. So every time somebody tell me I can't do something, I just remember all of the things that I've been through where people said I couldn't, they counted me out, and I'm still here. So, yeah.
Miss Brenda killing the game. I love it.
With that in mind, here's my question. I'm enjoying everything that you teach, where we're going. I'm taking great notes. I'm paying attention. But I really feel like right now, I don't need another course, another thing to do. I need to do what I know to do. However, I want your thoughts on me really taking a real pause for foundational setting. I say that because I'm clear on what I want to do now, but I'm thinking there's some things I need to put in place. Continue my social media things and stuff like that. But really set that solid foundation so that when I spark off mid-year, I ain't looking back and I ain't doing nothing but money, money, money.
Well,
have you had any thought of that?
Yes and no. So I don't really like to think of it. So I don't love the word or in business, right? Okay. I like the word and. And so what I'm hearing is that you want to pause this so that you can do this. And so you're telling me that you have to have growth or infrastructure. And it's like, why can't we have both? And so what I'm hearing is that infrastructure is independent of growth. And I don't like that.
Okay.
Now, if you're telling me I need to stop emphasis on marketing and sales so that I can support like fulfillment, and that for us to hit the 2025 targets, fulfillment has to be squared away, I'm aligned. Do you see the difference?
I need a little bit clearer, because I guess what I'm thinking is like, for example, the funnels and all these different things. I have the concept, and now I'm setting them all up. I'm setting all of those bases. I even hired a VA.
But so let me ask you this: why?
Okay. Why what?
Why are you doing that?
Because I want to be sure that I can deliver what I'm delivering. I've been working with a lot of people that have some fabulous products and different things. And let me tell you, the delivery is sloppy.
Yep.
They're not meeting targets.
Great.
It's all because had they stepped back a little bit and set the things in place properly, it would have been a smoother transition. I can still do my VIP clients and keep that part going.
Great.
But to where I want to scale, I feel like I need to make sure my foundation is so rock solid that I am able to deliver on what I say I can deliver.
So let me ask you this: where's your foundation not solid?
It's not solid in my funnel execution. Like I have all the pieces of my puzzles, but having the time to put all of it in with everything I've been doing. So I scaled back, like on my publishing company. I went down from 25 to 5 people. I'm scaling back on things so that I can really launch out. And if I do it the way I wrote it out, June at the latest, but maybe even as early as April, I could really launch off and be in a better position than what I feel like I'm in.
So, did you watch my New Year's planning video?
No, sir, I have not.
Okay. I think you need to watch that. Because what I'm hearing is not inherently bad. It just lacks purpose.
Okay.
And so I don't necessarily care what you do. Like, you could literally tell me, like, I'm going to run a fucking marathon, and, like, that's fine. But, like, at the end of the day, you need to tell me how that contributes to us hitting our impossible game.
Okay.
And so the impossible game, for those of you guys that have watched the video, is like, I don't, like, you guys will see in the chat this morning, I challenge all of you to start your daily reflections, right? And so I challenged my private client group to do that yesterday. And and I honor obviously the privacy of my group, but if I could share like some of the things that are shared in there, like I got a woman talking about, she's like, I think I need to get a divorce. I got a person talk about like, I'm not happy at home and that's holding me back. I got another person talking about I'm playing small. I got another person talking about I made $1 million and I fucking hate my business. Like, I got people that are like getting clear. Like crystal fucking clear. And so what I challenge them to do is like, what is the impossible game at the end of 2025? Where are we? How much money do we make? What does our physicality look like? What does our significant other relationships look like? Like, how do we set this game on fucking fire? And I'm not talking about like, I want to add 10 grand to my bottom line. Like, okay, like we could do that in a month. Like, I'm talking about, I want some shit that scares you. And so, like, I'll tell you mine. Like,
my multi-million-dollar plan scares the hell out of me, Jason, but I know it's doable.
No, but I want to know December 31st, 2025. I'm not talking about the future, right? Like, I'm telling you, like, when I sold my 8-figure company, and I told myself, I'm going to start another 7-figure company. And I told you guys this story, right? Like, the whole condo thing that happened, it's like, I'm going to start a 7-figure company. And God's like, no, you need to expand. I said, I'm going to go from, like, I think our company's, like, just shy of, like, a $2 million company right now. Like, it's not even that big, right? And it's like, I'm going to go from 2 million to 10 million in a year. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
That's unheard of in a calendar year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. That's my impossible game. Everyone says it's impossible. I said, no, I'm going to show you I'm possible, right? That's all impossible it is, right? I'm possible. And so I'm going to show you that I can win the impossible game. Okay, so what that did to me is it said, well, I can't do more. I can't do more marketing. I can't do more sales, right? Instead, I need to think differently. And so it challenged me to start thinking differently. Well, what did I start thinking about? Well, I started thinking about, well, how could I change the acquisition side of my business? What's the offers? Where can I? And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I got it. And so like I fixed acquisition. Like overnight, 10x my acquisition abilities from making one decision that came from thinking completely differently. Right? I increased my revenue streams. That requires very little extra work for me. It's not a distraction. It's not going to take away from my core offer, right? But it all forced me to think differently. But I'm reverse engineering from this place of impossibility. You're trying to start with where you're at and build. I need you to reverse engineer from the destination.
Got it.
And so if we don't know where we're going to be December 31st, 2025, we can't reverse engineer. Okay? Now that reverse engineer process is going to lead us to a quarterly target, into a monthly target, right? And then ultimately into a daily win. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So that is the whole purpose of the daily win map that I've been sharing with you guys. Right? You guys will see I have a body target. What's my body target today? Well, I need to work out and I need to get in 3 meals. I'm very guilty of literally eating 1 meal all day so that I can pick out a dinner. It's like my like anorexic control mechanism in my life. Like, and then it's like, okay, personal development. Well, I got to do an hour of like my warrior study. Okay, cool. Already done it. Right? Already done it. It's 11 a.m. Already did it. So what do I gotta do? Connection. I gotta send my 2 connection texts. I gotta FaceTime my daughter. Already sent the text. I just gotta FaceTime my daughter today. Okay, like business. What do I gotta get done? Well, I gotta start the paperwork for my fund, right? I need to start working on some slides for another thing, right? And it's like, at the end of the day, I do more just by having it mapped out. And it's like all of these daily wins will stack up in the monthly win. All of the monthly wins will stack up into the impossible game. And it's like, that's how I achieve crazy shit in 12 months. Make sense?
Makes sense.
So I loop all this back around to say, I don't necessarily care what you do, as long as you can tell me why you're doing it. And if these whys stack up to what you ultimately desire, then we're good.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Great.
Makes perfect sense. Thank you.
You got it. Carrie, was that a question for me? Am I keeping them somewhere? Am I keeping like my daily wins somewhere? Amber, can you unmute her really quick?
Yep, I just did.
Are you keeping them in like a place to look at all of them?
All my daily wins?
Yep.
Yeah, I have them documented in I actually just use like a private thread to myself, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And so here's my question. We'll just go to the question. So I just started, I saw your thing and did the daily win. Do you want us to do like the 4 categories?
so that's how I operate. So what I teach, and so like, you know, I've obviously have a private client group that I've worked with, right? And so we teach like there's 5 things, right? So like one is like the code, which is always start at the facts. Tell the truth, always start at the facts, which most people have a hard time doing. And we've talked about that here endlessly. Is like we all live in our emotions. Prior to this, I had you guys do homework. Every single person here realized I'm a fucking liar. It's okay. Like we're all fucking liars because we all want to cover ourselves up, right? I was reading a thing this morning, like a young snake sheds its skins like 10 to 12 times a year. Like an adult snake sheds its skin like 4 to 5 times a year. But like the take home from that is like we never stop shedding lies and parts of our past as long as we're willing to accept the future, right? And so it's like accept what is, tell the truth. Like that's the code. If we can't get clear on the facts, we can't win. The end, right? The way that we do that is with the tool. Well, the tool is the daily reflection and the daily win map, right? That is how we get clear. Like we have to literally sit down and say like, this is what's happening. Like unemotionally, these are the facts of my life, right? And so like what you guys see every day in my daily reflection, that is just unequivocally, that is what's on my mind today. That's me getting centered. Okay. We pair that up with the core. Well, the core of winning the game is 4-dimensional. I don't care if you make a lot of money if you're a fat pile of shit. I don't care if you make a lot of money if you're completely disconnected from your family. Like that doesn't excite me. I understand that at the end of the day, I'm a business consultant, but I don't feel like me teaching you to win independent of having a relationship with your family is truly winning. And so if we're not aligned, great, hire another business consultant that is willing to teach you to burn your relationships. That's not me. So the way that I play the game is there's a physical component, there's a spiritual component, there's a connection component, and there's a business component. If you don't want to include those, that's 100% up to you. But I believe that if you take every business lesson, like let's just take Miss Brenda's, which is like reverse engineering from the outcome, right? We could apply that same lesson that she just learned right now. How does that apply to your body?
Figure out what your actual target is for December 31st, 2025.
Or just in general, have a fucking target. Why do we end up complacent with our bodies? Because we're never fucking actually going anywhere with them. Right?
Yeah.
And so what do? We get comfortable in our daily routines. Okay, how does that lesson apply to your personal development? What skills am I going to acquire in a set amount of time? How does that the whole thing apply to your connection, to your relationships with your family and children? Don't just live life day to day. Don't build from the front. Have a target outcome. So what we see is that the lesson in one domain actually has carryover into all domains. And what we see is that if we take what Miss Brenda just learned in business and we apply it to all the domains of life, holy shit, we as people get better. That's why we play it that way. Does that make sense?
Can I just say it makes total sense. Can I say how grateful I am for this? And I've told people this that need to join because I agree. And I tell my clients this all the time, like anyone can teach you to make money. It's not hard. But I just personally feel very grateful that we're doing these 4 components because otherwise it's like, what are we doing?
Well, and like one, thank you for that. But number 2, it's like, I don't know a human being on the planet that desires money. That's the lie that they've conditioned themselves to. So when we press and we say, well, what does money represent? Well, money now becomes a vehicle in your life. Okay, agreed. What does money become the vehicle to? Well, I want a Lamborghini. Okay. You just want a Lamborghini. Like, you're good if you go home at night and a Lamborghini is in your garage. Well, no. Well, I want women to look at me differently. Okay. So Lamborghini is now the vehicle to you being looked at differently. Okay. So now women think you're amazing, but you're not getting laid, and you're still not getting paid, but you have a Lamborghini. Well, no. I want these women to come home with me. Okay. Let's keep going. So they come home with you, they sleep in a separate bedroom. Now I want to get laid. Okay. So what we started with was I want more money, and what we ended with was I want to get laid. And so you've created this story in your life that making more money will get you laid. Okay? Now, with that being the core story, like, I don't give a fuck, I have no emotion attached to it, how does that sound to you? Oh, it sounds really bad. Are there other ways of maybe getting laid? Yeah. So do you want to get laid or do you want to get paid? And it's like all of a sudden we start to tell the truth across all the domains. It's like, well, I wouldn't mind money, so I had future investments. Got it. That changes the purpose of money in your life. You'll probably feel more fulfilled in making money. You probably don't need as much as you thought you did. You want to get laid. Okay, how much time do you actually invest in your ability to speak to your significant other, to connect to your significant other, or if you're single, to go out and to find someone of the opposite sex that you have deep connection with? Well, never. I thought money was it. Oh, so what you're telling me is we need a new skill set. Well, that goes into personal development. And like you start to see how it goes through all four, right? I've never met a single human being that desires money. Never. Anybody that has had significant amounts of money will tell you there's a threshold at which point money does not matter. Like it just doesn't, which is why like I tried to play small this year. 8 figures is like plenty of money for me. And then I was like, well, I want to play small. And God's like, no, you need to expand. And I'm like, okay, there's a purpose for my expansion. I believe, right, because spiritually I'm called to expand. I believe that God has a purpose for my expansion. I don't know what that is yet. But I can tell you I'm not chasing money. I'm chasing connection to God. So people are like, well, what are you doing? I'm expanding into God's plan. How much is that? I don't know. Right now, the words that I hear out of him is 9 figures. Recently, like $1 billion has started to enter my mind. That's a God thing. I actually believe, like I 100% believe, Marley, you are crazy right now. I 100% believe that in the next 10 years, I'll hit $1 billion. I don't know why. I don't need $1 billion. I am not in any way attached to the number 1 billion. But like in conversation and in review and in like prayer, that number keeps coming. Okay? Like who am I to tell him differently? And so I just accept it. And so I think that is like the real game. You know, all of this is like, I see so much where, you know, like going back to my client group, somebody saying like, you know, I need to get a divorce. Like that we've created a container where that trust is there, like amazing. I love that. I'm so fortunate. But B, it's like, okay, like you're actually having these thoughts that like you believe that if you were in a different state yourself, you could achieve more, which is like now you're starting to look at the game holistically. You're no longer looking at money, you're starting to look at becoming. And it's like, as I've said in daily reflections and things in here, I really don't think I'm teaching you guys the game of doing anything. Like tactically I could teach you that shit, but it doesn't really mean anything. I need to teach you to be the person that thinks about these things and be the person that implements these things and be the person that achieves these things. And so hopefully that's what I'm doing.
You are.
So, but I know that was a really long-winded way of saying thank you, but also a bit of an explanation.
I appreciate that. Can I ask a follow-up question?
Please.
For the new daily reflection?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I'm just thinking and outing myself. Like,
Yeah.
I've been shit at tracking.
Right.
As much as I said I'm going to start tracking better, I haven't. So I want to, and I'm like committed to next year here. So I do really well. I fight structure a lot, but I do really well with it. So would you recommend like daily reflection with the 4 categories and then following up at the end of the day with your daily win to see?
So I'll tell you how, yeah, the one thing I haven't included in y'all's group that I do in my client group is I do 3 things. I do daily reflection, I do daily win map, and then I do daily win recap. And so I haven't been putting the recap, and I can start putting them in, but I just go back in and I either put a green check or a red X next to whether or not I did it. Internally, I have my own that I distribute across my team, right? And this is actually a function of how I build teams. So we have a win of the day that circulates my team at the end of the night that says, here's what the company accomplished today, here's what the company needs to accomplish tomorrow, and like, here's why it worked, here's why it's not working, these are the things. And so like, everybody's on the same page. It also effectively allows me to completely shut off at like 7 o'clock. And so while you guys will find me online and I'll message you, like I'm shut off. Like I'm so detached from my own business. I'm just there for you, right? But I'm completely present with my family or with my daughter or whatever. And like, that's how it just clears my head and it centers me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think I've seen a couple of your checkmark ones, so that's really helpful.
Cool. Yeah. And I can start posting them if that's easy. That's like, I try not to overwhelm you guys.
No, you absolutely, I mean, do whatever, obviously, do whatever you want. Just for me, I'm trying to create a structure and like have what that looks like.
Yeah. I'm telling you guys, like the game of just daily reflection will change everything. Like it will change everything. And I'll be very honest, when I started this, I did this because people were like, oh, I love reading it when you do it. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do it every day. Like, that was why. Like, I wasn't like some evil genius that was like, ooh, if I do a daily reflection, I'm going to change my whole life. I was just like, I'm going to figure it out. And then it was like, I started doing it, and there were days where like, I'd have an early flight, and I'm like, oh, thank God I don't have to do this. I'll just blame it on the early flight. And like, now if I don't do it, I am not centered for the day. It's a shit day. And like I'll tell you, like I had an early golf practice this morning, and like what did I do? I got up earlier, I went to get coffee, I came home, and I was like, first thing, daily reflection. Because like if I don't do it, I don't feel focused.
Yeah.
So that's where that is. Cool.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. All right, let's get Jessica up here.
Amazing.
Perfect. And then just a heads up too, Macarena asked if you could also give us an idea of, hold on, where's that question? Oh, can you describe the daily win map? Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'll do that next. Yep, I'll do that after this, 100%.
You should be unmuted. Let's see.
There we go.
Now I can.
Hi.
Happy everything, whatever people are celebrating, by the way.
I love
that. Just to piggyback on what Carrie said, I started doing my own daily reflections inside my client Facebook group, inspired by you, Jason, I think I started doing it maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's really fun to do with them.
It really is.
Like,
it's so good with your, like, guys, I'm telling you, what I'm teaching you is how you should teach your clients.
Totally.
I'm telling you, what we do is completely different than anyone else out there. And this is not something your clients will have experienced. And so, like, when you guys can go in, and by the way, wait till I teach you sales this week. Like, on Monday, we're doing sales. And I'm going to show you guys how to sell using this process. It's going to fucking revolutionize how you guys have looked at sales. It's going to make everything a layup. It's so easy. So I love that. Sorry.
Well, I look forward to that, because what I was going to mention was how it has changed it's good for me. So it's good for me just personally on a personal level, but it's also good for them to start to see a little bit more of me and a little bit of a different aspect of me. And the other thing it's allowed is to open up the conversations that, like, when they come in, they're like, oh, I want more common, I want to fix my kids, there's something going on, there's something wrong with my kids. And until I'm blue in the face, I can tell them there's nothing wrong with your kid, but they still think there is. But it's not. Like, they have to change who they are. They have to become the person they want to be, just like we do as business owners. They have
100%.
to become the person they want to be to raise the child that they want to raise. And that's what these reflections have allowed conversations about, because I can just drop like things to think about. And it's always super interesting. I've noticed this for the last 10 years. Anytime I learn about something from a business perspective, I can apply it to parenting all the time.
Yep.
All the time. So I kind of just wanted to say that. I encourage you all to do it for yourself, but also if you have a community of clients, it's just a really,
It's
really
amazing.
and it's also changed. I'm excited to see how you're going to bring this into sales, because it's changed how I'm thinking about sales already. Because people are only ready to hear certain things in a sales call, and then when they get into the group, they can see, oh my gosh, this is so much more.
Yeah, like if I would have sold you guys all of this, you would have been like, what the fuck am I doing?
Exactly.
You'd have been like, I am not doing that bullshit, right? So like, this is why we talk about pre-sale and post-sale conversations, which is like pre-sale conversations. To be totally honest, if you want to implement this pre-sale, which you can, right? You have to do it through co-creation. And so like, if I would have had a sales call with each of you before this, like I would have done it how I'm going to teach you on Monday, but I would have had you guys discover all of this, and then I would have just sold you on your own discovery, right?
Exactly.
Instead of me coming to you and like fucking like Bible thumping or like, talking about, oh, you need to work on your body or you're a fucking liar, or like, I can't say that shit in sales yet, right? I can, and like, listen, I've been doing this a long time. I'm good enough with words to make it happen, but it's like the percentage is going to be significantly lower. And so instead, I would rather you guys use the process of co-creation, which I'm going to teach you on Monday. The process of co-creation literally opens up the gap, and then once the gap's open, the game's over. Like, they're fucked. They've already screwed themselves. So their credit card's halfway out of their wallet at that point.
I'm excited for that. There's a lot. I basically just raised my hand because there's a few things I've been thinking about that have been very shifty for me, and that's one of them. Another one is just understanding that sales is really about shifting a paradigm, which is what I've been trying to do, but not as simply. Like now, like old paradigm, manage your kid, manage. New paradigm, make them healthy.
That's it.
Go from the inside.
Yeah,
Right?
old way, new way. And it's like, and then when you get them clear on like what the old way was, aka their false beliefs, when you destroy the false beliefs with them, and then it's like, okay, like we both agree foundationally the shit that you've done does not work, right? Right. Okay, like 100%? Cool. So like, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
I have no
Right,
idea.
so we're going to work from the inside out, but then...
But like what you do, that's when you're just like, but like you just pause. You're just like, great. So like, what now? Like shit, like fucking bad kids the rest of your life? That's it? Like that's what you're committing to? No, there is a better way. Do you want to know? Okay, great. Like let's talk.
Yeah.
But it's
But
like,
then
it's their idea to learn the new way, not yours. That's the key differentiator. It's like, it's their idea to discover the new way, not your introduction of the new way. Make sense?
Totally.
That's the game. I want to talk about what you said in your message to me right before this, which is like, you brought people into a low ticket, and how many of them have ascended?
10.
10 out of how many?
I think I started with 70.
Great.
Now I
So
have
we've
51.
had like 15% ascension. Great. So what I think is we should take your low ticket. We should offer it like as at a fixed open and close 4 times per year. And I think that should be a primary place of us pulling one-on-one clients. So like what I would like you to think on is, it's like, what does it look like for you to take that low ticket and do like a launch-based model 4 times a year?
Instead of the sales call model.
No, so we'll have the sales calls between the launches. But But the people that are
Yeah.
going to really buy this have either said no to a sales call or they're just not all in on your messaging yet. So like we're going to clean up the best of both worlds. But now we're not cannibalizing, right? We don't always have a one-on-one and always have a one-to-many. It's like this is just a launch
Launch for
for the
I'm gonna-
for the lower ticket.
I gotta noodle that for a second, but I wanted to say one more thing about
Yeah.
the old paradigm, new paradigm, is that the whole, another part of that is that when they actually come in to our community,
So much better.
they're like, oh, I'm evolving as a person,
Bingo.
right? So they go from fix my child to get them healthy to become a better person.
Bingo.
And that makes me so much more excited
Yeah.
about my business that I wanted to blow up
Yeah.
this time last year.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So that's how I'm gonna frame it.
Well,
And
can
then
I
what
can I
you're
pause
saying-
you for a sec? You did blow up your business from last year.
I've always been doing that. I just haven't been thinking about it that
Right.
way.
There you go. So you blew up the way you're operating. And so like
Which is gonna change everything.
that's why you have excitement. And that excitement is now allowing you to think differently. And now these different thoughts will allow us to see acquisition differently. Acquisition comes in differently and holy shit, business starts to expand.
I
Right.
think what I was getting frustrated about was that I really love the evolve as a person part.
And
But
you didn't know how to bring it in.
I can't put that
Well,
on.
okay, so I'm
front
gonna
because
teach you
there's
to I'm gonna teach you to lead with it.
Yay.
Cool.
And what you're saying now is because I think my biggest decision, this whole membership model thing was an experiment for 2024. Like, because I was getting the sense, I was like, people don't even know what they don't even know.
Yep.
So they can come in as a lower ticket and then they can ascend. But
What we need to do
don't
is we
like
need
to
to
build
not
them.
make it membership model. It needs to be like low ticket, fixed duration, 8 to 10 weeks. So like what I want you to launch is like 8 to 12 week, low ticket, short duration, small commitment, and then ascend to big commitment. Because you've already showcased like the ability to ascend. So like let's just build an ascension model.
As well as the.
Yeah, and then
as
we'll
well as-
always be running. We'll always run traffic to your high ticket. Always.
So the high ticket can be the assessment
Yeah,
model.
the high
that we talked
ticket, the
about.
assessment. I mean, we can come up with scholarships. Like there's infinite ways to pull into high ticket, but that'll always live as like the flagship. It's just like how do we feed this, right? Like what I'm always looking at is like what are the ways here? What are the pathways? There's cold traffic through ads. There's assessments. There's ascensions. Like there's what are the pathways to that?
Okay, and with that lower ticket, smaller model, I guess I have to think about how I'm going to structure that because
Yep.
right now they're all in the same group and they all have the same material. Like I've got my.
Well, that's how it should be.
my
You
resources.
actually want to build the community. So like when you do this, put these 20 people, 30 people through an 8 to 12 week experience together.
together.
Right? Yeah. So like I would be willing to bet those of you guys that are going to continue on with us into like next year and do like a year with us, like part of what's exciting is that like you have this community. And like when we pull people from MA2, you're going to be like a little jaded and be like, who are these motherfuckers coming in our community? And like you're like there's going to be like this like little bit of dissonance at first, which is like I'm MA1, I'm MA2, and it's like you guys all got to like that's a thing that I think about because like you guys have your communities, right? See, someone's like, we're combining, right? You're not combining yet, but like when you guys go ultimately into like the big group, which is the continuation group, that will be the continuation for anybody that's gone through the initial 12 weeks with us, right? Yeah. So like you guys won't see anybody else in that, like because you guys are so far ahead, you guys won't see anybody in that for quite some time, right? But obviously it's the ability for us to look bigger. Now, the one thing I'm committed to is we're going to control these calls. So like there will be cohorts where like once you're in, you'll be in a cohort and like your cohort, that's who you'll do calls with. So I don't ever want these calls to not feel personal for you guys. I feel like right now you guys can all come here and get your questions answered. We're never going to lose that ability, guaranteed. That's how we operate. So.
All right, I'm going to noodle that for a little bit. One of the things I really like in our community, and not this community, in my other art
Yeah.
community, is that I adore it when parents help parents.
Fuck yeah.
And when parents are like, oh, that was me 3 months ago. This is
Bingo.
what we did, or this was me last year.
Bingo.
And I know that can be frustrating for some people coming in as a newbie. They can feel really overwhelmed. Overwhelm is like one of my biggest
Yeah.
problems, how to not overwhelm people. And I don't know if I like it enough that I need to keep it, but it's something that I'm thinking about
Yeah.
of when you bring a newbie into
So here's the tool. Ready?
What's your thought?
Daily reflection. Let it be your daily reflection tomorrow morning. And just fucking put the title and start typing.
Okay.
You'll see where you end up. It's pretty dope.
Yeah. Amazing. For those of you who are going to start this, one of the things I find, this might not be for you, but you can play with it. I need to be moving in order to have a daily reflection. Like I need to go for a walk.
You know where I need to be? I need to be in bed. I swear to you, I swear to you, mine happened from bed every day. I grab my computer, I take my dogs upstairs in bed with me, sit down, I prop my pillows up so that I'm upright, and I go every day. Like I swear to you guys, I'm gonna take a selfie tomorrow morning while I'm doing it, and I'm gonna fucking post it in the chat. So
I need to go for a walk with like a voice note and just like chat to myself.
yeah. Listen, there's no right and wrong way. I love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Jason. Look
yeah.
forward to doing this.
You got it.
Thank you, Jessica.
Okay, Amber, I want to address the questions. Macarena, can I describe the daily wind map? So I've been posting it in the group. So if you go in the group, I've been posting it every day. I literally just listed out like body, here's my target, personal, here's my target, connection, here's my target, business, here's my target. So it's just literally like my daily targets. Like I need to do these things today to move the business forward, to move myself forward, to move life forward, like whatever it is. And then I do the recap. Sangita, to answer your question, I do my daily win map in the morning. I do my daily win recap at the end of the day. And it's my way of holding myself accountable to the things that I said I was going to do. I was actually in the background trying to pull mine up for today, but I literally have like in the same chat, all of my clients have been posting their stuff. Let me see if I can find it. My clients are awesome because they're like really like leaning into like the daily reflection, which is like unbelievable. Okay, so for me today was like 1 hour workout, 3 meals, was body, personal was an hour of warrior study, connection, 2 connection based texts, FaceTime my daughter, business. I need to finalize my network transition and launch. You guys will understand that soon. I'm going to schedule my next webinar, which I'm going to do through Super Connector. I need to build the Elite, which is my personal high ticket group for like our calendar for 2025. And I need to begin the legal work for my fund. So like that's it. That's all I need to do to move today forward. Like there's nothing else. Everything else is really good. I had a great meeting yesterday. So like I know if I do those things, I don't need to like I don't need to like think about anything else. Like if I do some other things, great, but like I know like and those things will be done by like 3 p.m. So like I don't need to do anything the rest of the day. I have like I'm home, like it's just me, it's not my daughter, it's not my mom. Like guys, I'm not gonna fucking move. It's gonna be glorious. I have a haircut at 4. I'm gonna come home and like I ain't gonna do shit. And it's gonna be the best thing in the world. I'm gonna like rest and I'm gonna feel good and I'm not gonna feel guilty about it because I'm gonna know that like I hit my daily wins and tomorrow's another day. So yeah, I'm gonna get my workout in actually right after this. We're filming and then I'm gonna get my workout in. So yep, I am gonna do that. Well, there you go. I hope that answers the questions.
Love it. All right, can we get Christina up here?
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, Christina, let me unmute you. You should be all set.
All right. Happy holidays, you guys. I'm so happy. Hi, Carrie. I'm so happy to be here with you guys. I just love you guys so much.
We love you.
I'm just looking at everyone's faces. Yay. Yeah, so I am, I'm formulating my question in my mind right now. I'm so excited. I am doing on Monday this quantum vision boarding experience, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be like vision boarding, but different because we're going to be doing things with quantum energy. Like we're going to be healing things that are in the way. And then we're also going to be, putting some quantum energy behind the vision, which is going to be really powerful. But I guess my question is, so for those that want to take it further, the space for them to land would be my mastermind, Transcendence. But I want it to feel special. Like I want it to feel like different from just like, hey, you can roll into Transcendence. I want it to feel like something that is special to them that they can really sink their teeth into. So I don't know what that is yet, but I'm still kind of like noodling on it. I love that word that Jessica was using. So I'm trying to kind of figure out how to make that feel special for those that want to lean in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I kind of went through something similar with mine
Yeah.
in like the last 3 or 4 months, and so we had like now like I did it on pricing, like I did it the whole way through.
Yeah.
I decided to completely buck the trend. I was like, I'm very much like, I don't like, if everybody in the online space is flowing to something, it usually means it's going to break in the next 12 months. Like, just observationally, like in the last 15 years, I've watched it happen. And so anytime I see it start to happen, I pivot immediately. And so I took like my commitment going, and you guys will see it part of SCM, but like, God, I just want to tell you guys like something so bad. I don't know if I'm allowed to yet, but I might at the end of this. But I at the like my thing was I took high ticket services and I'm selling them low ticket, and I'm building subscription on the back end, and then I took ultra high ticket and I removed the continuity, which is completely ass backwards. Like the whole mastermind model was built on get you to high ticket and keep you, right? Like that's the whole model was built on. So I'm like, great, I want to get you to my highest ticket. I want to charge you once, and then I don't ever want to charge you again. I literally want you to pay me like a fee, and I don't ever want you to pay me again. And I want to coach you for life. Because I know two things. One, you're gonna churn at some point. And number two, by doing that early on, I make you a fixture in our community. And I'm such a believer in building containers, not programs. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like what Jess was talking about, I believe, is like her shift to like building a container. It's like a safe space for these people. I believe this is what you're talking about and like what you're aligned with. And so I want you to just think about it that way. Like remove the price components and purely think about like, how do I just make this a dope experience? Right? Now, when we started moving people towards that, we started like an invitation model. And so we actually put together like a super dope invitation, and we send them 2 cards. And it's like, open this card 1 first. And it recaps all their wins with us. Like it recaps everything. It's like, this is just to celebrate you. And then it's like, card number 2 is like, and by the way, here's your invitation. And so like, this is your invitation to join us in the elite group. We call it elite, right? And this is your access to a place where you're here forever. Like, we firmly believe that like this group of people is fundamentally going to change the world. We're inviting you to be a part of this elite group of humans, right? Here's all the things you get with it. If you're interested, just send us a text. Like, we just love you either way. And our conversion rate's 100%. So, like, we just kind of gamified it and made it fun and like made it an experience. If you're ever like needing things like that, Billie Jean is one of the like Carrie, I mail people out. But like, if Billie Jean's like one of the single best experiential people in the world. Like he's great at creating experiences. Like if I'm being honest, and I say this with all love, I love Billy. We're very good friends. His products are like average, but his experiences are like significantly over average. And like that's why people continue to pay him. Like Billy called me one time and he was like, "Hey, I'm doing a mastermind." And I was like, "Great, take my money." And he was like, "I didn't tell you how much it is." And I was like, "I don't really care." I was like, "Take my money." Because I'm going to go and I'm going to learn about experience. Like, that's how I see it. So, like, I think so many of us get caught up in, like, the X's and O's and, like, the plays and things. It's just, like, how do we just make this fun? Like, by the way, like, one of the things I really want to do for all of you guys that decide to do Nick next year is, like, I want you guys to be the first ones. I want to take you guys to, like, a big dinner. I hope there's enough people that I have to, like, I hope like I have to rent out a whole restaurant. Like that would make me the happiest person ever. And like, I don't give a fuck if I lose money. I just want it to be fun. I'm at the point now where like if we do enough really fun shit, everyone's gonna want to be a part of it. I know tactically you're so good at what you do. Like I don't need to teach you to be good at what you do. You're very good at what you do. So like, you don't need to think about how to be better at what you do. You just need to make it like an experience that people want to be a part of. And like, once they're there, they're not going anywhere. I know, like, it took me a long time to accept this. Like, seriously, like, probably this year. I declared it on stage with like, you know, what was it, Ben Newman and Carrie and like all of them, right? But I was like, yo, like it took 40 years for me to be like, all right, I'm actually really good. Like I made more money than 99% of people in this space, and I was like, oh, like yeah, okay, I guess I'm good. Like it took that long for me to fucking trust it. So now I'm in a position where I'm like, all right, I'm really good. And then it's like, let's just fucking make experiences that people come to. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
So what I would ask is, it's like, okay, like similar to Jess, it's like, this is the North Star. This is where we want people. What are all the pathways that people get to this? And what I would have you write down, and like I would literally like draw this out, like visual. I'm a visual person, right? I'm not in my office, I'm downstairs right now. But like if I have the iPad, I would draw it for you. But I would have it like the very top. I would have like, you know, elite program, and then I would like write out like what are all the pathways that somebody can enter this, and then it's like how do we just make those really cool?
So are you saying to have something like an intermediary step in between that? Or
Possibly. So
okay.
like my thing is like, okay, I know what your business produces. If you like hit me up like one off and you're like, hey, I want to work with you, I'd be like, cool, you should go right to this program. Mm-hmm. It's a $50,000 investment. It's one time. You'll never pay me again. Here's all the things you get. You get it for life. Like I would just go straight to it. Now, if somebody comes to me and they're like barely making $100,000 a year, I'd be like, cool. Like we're not ready for this program yet. I have this other program, right? You pay X amount at 6 months. If you decide that you still want to do that, it's $500 a month just to stay in it, right? And once you hit a certain threshold, we can invite you to elite. And so, like, for me, I'm just kind of diagnosing the sale and, like, I'm making sure that, like, that's it. But, like, those are, like, the only two offerings I really have. Like, it's either you're low or you're high. Like, I don't do, like, the whole middle ground thing. By the way, like, anyone that's trying to sell middle ground, like, you're just destined to fail. The middle is always what gets destroyed.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Mm-hmm.
I know you have, like, a lot to think about, but...
No, but I'm getting like intuitive things on how it relates to what I'm creating. So
Good.
I'm excited.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jess Sherman, like mid-price, mid-level offering, like that's like, what does the middle look like? It looks like a desert because no one's there. It's where everything goes to die. So, like you got to think about it. Like I remember somebody gave me an analogy, like when, you know, like when my business was at like $7 million, they're like, you're the most vulnerable right now. They're like, you're in the middle. Like the little guys, they want to pick you off. Like they have nothing to lose. They're fucking hunting you down. They're nipping at your heels. The big guys, they want to destroy you because they see you coming. So you're getting hit from both sides. When you're at the bottom, the only people that are shitting on you are the ones just above you. When you're at the top, all you gotta do is protect yourself from the people in the middle. But when you're in the middle, you gotta protect yourself from both sides. It is the worst place to be in anything. And so like when you come to me, you either come like on like the lower side or you go to the high side. We ain't playing this fucking middle ground bullshit. Like you want to fucking go and you want to be the person that's like, ooh, I make $30,000 per customer. Like great, good job. Like you're gonna die pretty soon, guarantee it. I've seen this movie, right? It doesn't end well. And so for me, it's like either give me 50 grand or give me like 5 grand. We're good either way. And I love and I love you the same, and I want you to win the same, right? So it took me a long time to be accepting of that too. I really had to make the commitment, and I think that took my own personal growth. That took daily reflections. It took me like being very open about who I was and what I wanted to deliver. So there's that. So Miss Brenda, do you mind if I pull Macarena up and then I'll pull you back on? Okay, Macarena, what's up?
Let me unmute you, and you should be all set.
Hey there.
Hey.
Thanks for all this. Always so good.
Yeah.
So I want to run through that exercise with you about the money for money, because I've been financing my business for the last year by myself, and I'm running low on money. So I feel like I need money to operate my business, to keep my team going. I have like what I want to create, like with the kids' books. I don't know if you heard about this, but I have these children's books, The Grateful Giraffes, and I'm making a book of the month club for second graders where I have videos talking directly to the students. So it's like the emotional learning and reading and literacy. And thanks to Robin Berlensky, she's the one who saw my books and she was like, teachers need this. So I know what needs to happen. That's a longer project. I'm going to start making those videos in January, but it's like I've got to survive to then. So then I've been like, okay, I'm going to have the bandwidth to make those videos in January. In the meantime, I was like, okay, let me focus on my grown-ups in my private coaching, that sort of thing, in the meantime. So that's kind of where I'm at. Like,
Can
so
I
if
can I pause you for one
yeah.
sec? Okay, so if we zoom way out, how do we make money today? Independent of business that we're building, how do we make money today?
It could be book sales, like a lot of books. That's like a super easy way to
Is that regularly happening right now?
No,
Okay.
it's not.
Okay. How are we regularly getting money today?
Oh, not much. Private clients here and there, but I was trying to get away from that because I was more kind of like an energetic surgeon. I would meet with people once, then I'm like, okay, you're done. You don't need me, or I teach them, kind of like teach them and then go on. But I realized that's not. They need more because. So anyway, I've been rethinking, thanks to being in mastermind and everything, how I do what I do. So now I'm like, okay, it needs to be a 12-week program. So that's going to be the Common Clarity course, and I'm building all of that. I'm rethinking how I was thinking of stuff because before I was like, let me just teach people and then they don't need to see me again. But then I noticed that people come to me for really basic stuff. They're not doing like the human hygiene, kind of like what you're talking about with like the daily stuff. So anyway, so then I realized, okay, my community needs that.
Yeah.
So I'm in the process of building everything.
So one, I need you to go do the annual plan because I need to know like where do we want to be in a year, right? Because like I have a couple routes that I'm seeing, but I don't know what you want. Like that's the honest truth. Like one is like we could just blow up the coaching and that's fine, and you can make $500,000 from it this year, and that's great. But it's like, what does $500,000 represent in terms of investing in the children's books? Because I'll tell you, I hear the children's books and I immediately am like, oh, like there's exit potential there. Like that's something I would want to be a part of. And so if I hear a bit, like I'll just like tell you guys, if I hear like a business opportunity, like I want to be a part of that, I'm like, okay, like you have exit potential. Because all I do is I invest in companies with exit potential, right? Like that's what the Legacy Group does. That's my thesis in life right now. So there's obviously exit potential there, but you obviously need capital to be able to go and do that. So, but this comes down to like you're treading water trying to survive. You're not swimming to a destination.
Exactly.
Okay, I need you swimming to a destination.
Yeah.
But you don't know the destination. So instead you're treading water and you're like, I just want to fucking like stay here so I don't die. Like sharks come by, like the sharks are like the bills, right? And it's like, fuck, right? Oh, survive that shark attack. Okay, dope. I'm gonna keep treading water, right? Instead of like, oh, but like the destination's like right over there. Like, let me just fucking swim there.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. It feels like it's so close, but then something happens and I get thrown out of whack. Like I had less money than I thought I had. Like so I'm like, okay, just keep the focus. Like so close. Get through the holidays. Like get through it and just do it.
Can I pause you?
Yeah.
I love you, but like nobody's just getting through the holidays. Like what's different today than yesterday or tomorrow? Like nothing. Like the opportunity is the same. The shit that needs to get done is the same. Like nobody should be just getting through the holidays, because then before you know it, we're just gonna get into the new year. And before we know it, we just gotta get through Valentine's Day. And before you know it, we just gotta get through Easter. And before we know it, there's been an expense associated with everything. And 365 days from today, we're still treading water. We haven't sold a book. We barely got enough clients to pay our bills, and we're in the same fucking place. And so what I want is I want a fucking plan. I want to know 365 days from today, what are we doing? How many books are we selling? How many personal clients have we serviced? Because then we can talk about tactically how we create that. Does that make sense? Right now, you're not taking actions because you don't know what the outcome should be. That's like saying like there's 10 cars out front, right? I don't know which one to take. Well, one of them goes off-roading. One of them is like a boat. One of them is a plane. And they're like, well, I only got to go right down the street. Okay, great. They grab the bicycle. You see what I mean? So, like, we don't know which vehicle, we don't know which action steps to get in on. Make sense?
Yeah.
Tell me what you're hearing.
Then again,
Tell me what you're hearing.
do the plan and get super clear. Like
Okay.
I know it in my head, but yes, I gotta write it down. Like yeah. Do the plan.
Okay.
Make the plan so we know which card to take.
Okay. So when are we going to have the plan written by?
I have to watch your videos. I don't know how.
Okay. So when are we going to have watched?
31st.
When are we going to have watched the videos by?
I will do this before the 31st.
Amazing.
For sure.
Great. Deal.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay.
Now we're working in line with outcomes. That already has to feel better. It's okay. I'm going to do something that moves me forward.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to hold you to it. We have 4 days.
I'm gonna. Yeah, for sure.
I love
I'm
it.
gonna do
I love it. Good. I
I
love
can't
it.
wait to do it.
Good. I'm sure, because it gives you progress. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of excitement to do it. So, I love it. Cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Amber, let's pull Miss Brenda up. Even if we got to go a
Yeah,
little
we got
over. She's been so patient. She was so nice to let everybody go, and let's give her one
No,
more
we
birthday
should always
gift.
let people that haven't asked the question go before, even if I.
I know you're so sweet, and I really
know
just
that
like.
about you guys that we do that. That way, all of us are supported. But really, all I wanted to say was thank you. You gave my aha moment. One of the things I teach my client is to do business their way. And today, what you gave me permission to do was to do business my way. Stop just teaching it, but actually do what I teach.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say I thank you for that because you also answered my question when you were talking to Jessica and to Christina. So I had the question I had from that. You already answered it. So that's the benefit of being in a group and getting everybody the opportunity to speak. I love you all tremendously, and thank y'all all for being the winds beneath my wings, and for all of you that support me on the background that people don't even know about. This year has been such a blessing, Jason, because Super Connected Media people in general have been there to support me, showing up for summits, inviting me to be on their podcast, being on my podcast. I look forward to collaboration for the upcoming year. And I just want to say thank you for what you're doing for all of us, whether you're sick, you're healthy, or whatever. And in case we don't get to speak again before the new year, you have been the gift that has kept on giving for the past 2 years for me. And I honor you, I bless you, and I thank you for everything you do and continue to do for me and for this entire community.
I appreciate you. Thank you. That was so kind. It's your birthday. We're supposed to give you gifts, and here you are sharing gifts. So, I really appreciate it. You know, I tell you guys all the time. You guys are a gift that keeps on giving to me. You guys inspire me. You know, it makes me want to be better, and it makes me want to deliver more. And I think we're just scratching the surface with so many people. I think I just watched transformation after transformation happen, and it's amazing. I genuinely love it. It's a lot of fun. So, I guess I could like share some news, kind of, maybe. I'm not really supposed to, but I kind of want to. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to. Christina, I think you know what I'm talking about a little bit, because you're on the other side. All right, you guys didn't hear this. This is like, I almost feel like we shouldn't even record it. But it's on the down low. No, I don't think they'd be that upset. So, I'm going to tell it to you in the frame of a learning lesson. I looked at 2025 and I said, okay, how are we going from 2 million to 10 million? And I looked at my company and I identified all the ways, and I'm a good enough entrepreneur that I was like, cool, like we could do it. And it just didn't feel aligned with what I wanted to do. And so I took a step back and I was like, if I thought about this differently, how else could it be possible? And so the biggest thing for me is I don't have a huge personal brand. Like, it's never something I've invested in. It's never something quite frankly, it's not something I cared about enough. I say cared about enough because I care about them now, so I am building one. But Um, I didn't have the acquisition arm of my business super dialed in. And so I said, for me to get to the next level, how do we change acquisition? And then I started looking at everything I had in my life, and I was like, hey, there's this amazing community, Super Connector, that they seem to really learn a lot whenever I teach. And they're fantastic at acquisition. And I was like, I'm really good at fulfillment. They're really good at acquisition. Like, they should actually just buy me. And then we should have like a revenue share and we all get to 10 million. And I was like, huh. And I like wrote it out on paper and everything. And I'm like, oh, we both get to 10 million. We should probably do this. And so I was like, hey guys, can we have a Zoom meeting? And then like we had the Zoom meeting and they're like, hey, we really like this idea. And so we're in the stages of joining forces. The only place in the world that my coaching services will be offered is here through SCM. And so you cannot consult with me outside of SCM. You cannot join a mastermind with me outside of SCM. You cannot join my elite program as of December 31st. It is literally, I'm shutting off everything. The only place to do it is here. And so every training I do will be part of SCM. So that means I'll be more involved in absolutely everything here, because this is the only place that my time and energy goes in the coaching space. And so what does that mean for you guys? Well, it means that like I now am coming in inside the product. I'm now coming in inside the fulfillment. There's going to be more offerings, which means you'll be able to buy a one-off call with me for like an hour. You can get strategy sprints with us and get access to all of my resources. As of January 1, every asset I've ever built, all of you guys will get access to. Literally, like no extra money. You guys are just gonna get access to like my full library of everything. And so like we're excited to share that with you. And so yeah, like it's just a massive level up for everybody involved. And so really, really excited to do this. And I think it was like the logical decision for all of us. I think transparency is really important. So I like sharing these things with you mostly because I get to be with you more, but also because it's a big like learning lesson. This is one of the ways that we're going to 10 million next year. And it's also, it's also going to allow Jen to grow stage leaders. It's going to allow us to build something, AI based for Chris. It's going to allow us to continue growing the coaching and consulting side. It's going to give Amber and Sarah room to grow here under this umbrella. So it's going to do a lot of amazing things. It's going to give Christina and Ryan more sales opportunities for them. Like it's going to grow everybody involved, and I think that's like the really cool part for me is like the ripple effect is massive. So I just want to share that it's really exciting times here at SCM. Again, as of January, I think we can really start talking about this openly, and you guys will see it. But it's I feel like the Avengers are coming together. It's like we're gonna take over this world, and we're really gonna clean up the coaching space. I think a lot of it's really poor, and so I really want to make sure that we're doing it right. So that's that. So let's see. Today is Friday the 27th, 2029. I think we're on Monday the 30th. I think we're all together. So this will not be the last time I see you this year. So I won't use the traditional see you next year. I won't use that dad joke yet. We'll use that Monday. But other than that, I think that's great.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, if you need anything, as always, my inbox is open to you. If you have my number, just text me, whatever. Don't care. Here for you. Just want to help. So, love you guys. Have the best weekend. We'll talk soon. Bye, guys.
Talk soon. Bye, everybody.